Hi guys, I hope you're doing great. Welcome to my channel. Here we are with another episode of C# tutorial. We are going to learn break and continue and also arrays, and in the end we will see how for each loop works. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, don't forget to subscribe it, and if you enjoyed the video and find it useful, don't forget to like it. Let's begin. First, we are going to see how break and continue works. Actually, break is used more frequently than continues, but I'll show you how these works. Well, you have already seen the break statement used in the earlier session. You have already seen the break statement used in an earlier session of this tutorial. It was used to jump out of a switch statement. The break statement can also be used to jump out of a loop. I'll show you an example to see how this works. For example, if you see this code, we have for, we initialize. I taught you how to use for. If you don't know how to use for, and if you're not familiar with loops, I highly recommend you to watch the previous session. Okay, now you know how this loop works. If we enter this loop and we here have I equals to 0, this condition is true, we enter the loop, and if here I equals to 4, we have break here. When I equals to 4, this actually will jump out of the 4, and this line will not be executed anymore, or whatever we have after this line will not be executed anymore. If, for example, we have 100 of codes after this line, those will not be executed too. Let's see how it works. As you see here, we have I equals to 0. This condition is not true, so we do not enter this condition. So we continue console.writeLine. We have 0 here. Again, I does not equal to 4. I is printed here, and whenever I equals to 4, it will break out of this loop, and you see this line will not be executed anymore, and as you see here is not executed because 4 is not shown here, and the numbers after 4. The continue statement breaks one iteration in a loop if a specified condition occurs and continue with the next iteration in the loop. For example, here let me show you an example how continue works. Okay, as you see here, we have another loop which is like the previous one, but here instead of break we have continue. If we enter this condition and we see continue here, the rest of the code will not be executed for that specific loop. As you see, for example, we go through this loop for the first time and I does not equal to 4, so this line will be executed, and if I equals to 4 we have continue here, so the rest of the code will not be executed and it will jump here and increase the amount of I and again go through the loop. The difference between continue and break is seen here. If we have break here, it will jump out of the loop and the rest of the code here will be executed. If you have code here, will be executed. But if we have continue like this, it will not jump out of the loop. It will just ignore the rest of the code for that specific time and go here to increase the amount of I. Let me show you how it works and you will understand what I say. As you see here, 4 is not written here. Why? Because when I equals to 4, we have continue here. So the rest of the lines between the rest of the lines that are inside this block will be ignored, and it will jump here for in the beginning of the loop and increase the amount of I and continue to execute the code. You can also use while instead of for, and you can use breaks and continue in while loop instead of a for loop. It's just the same. I have an example here. I show you quickly because there is no differences between these two, and I'll just run this to see how it works. As you see, it is the same. We have 4 here. We break the loop as I equals to 4, and we can see another example with while. When continue is used, the function is the same, the operation is the same, and as you here see, 4 is ignored and the rest of the numbers are listed after 3. Well, let's see how arrays work, what are arrays, and how to create arrays, how to initiate them, how to access to the elements of arrays. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each value. This will make your code more meaningful and more readable. To declare an array, define the variable type with square brackets. For example, you want to declare a string, an array of a string. We say string, we use square brackets and the name of variable. For example, cars. We have here an array of cars. To insert value to this variable, we have to place the values in a comma separated list inside curly braces. I'll show you how we actually initiate them. Here we use it equals to, we use curly brackets, and for example, we have cars like Volvo, and we separate each string by each element of array by comma, and the next one is called, for example, BMW, and for example, let's see another one like Ford. Okay, this array contains 3 elements. This is the first one, second one, and third one. Don't forget to put semicolon at the end of each line. And this is an array of strings. You can create an array of, for example, integers or doubles, like floats, whatever you want. For example, int, we use curly brackets, like my num equal, this is the initiation is the same as above. For example, we have a 10, the second element 20, 30, and for example 40. And you can access each element of this array. For example, I want to access the first element of cars like Volvo. How I can do that? I can access that by the index number. Let me print, for example, the first element of variable cars, console.writeLine. Now I just need to say cars. Between these brackets, I just need to insert the number, like number 0. As you see, arrays start with 0. Volvo, the index of Volvo is 0, the index of BMW is 1, and the index of Ford is 2. And we expect that Volvo to be printed here. As you see, Volvo is printed here. If you want all of them to be printed, you can use loops. For example, you can use for. If you write for and click on tab 2 times, you see this code will be appeared, and you don't need to write it yourself. So instead of this length, we actually have to write the length of our array. Here we have the length of our arrays. Our car array is 3, so I write 3 here, and I just need to write console dot write line and cars, and between these brackets I just need to put I, because each time I have a value, and for example for the first time the amount of I is 0, so the car which its actually index is 0 will be printed, and for the second time the amount of I will be increased by 1, so the car which its index is 1 will be printed. You see, all of them are printed. We have 2 Volvos. Why? Because for the first time I wrote Volvo here. I can comment this line to make sure that it works properly. You see, it works. And you can also change the value of array. For example, I printed the values here. Let me copy this code and write it here. And this time I want to change the value of array. For example, the value of elements of array. For example, I write a car as 0 equals to for example Opel, and if I execute this code now, you see this time Volvo is changed to Opel here. So this way you can change the amount of an element of array. If you want to, for example, if you have an array and you don't know the length of array, how you can actually find out the length of an array? In order to find the length of an array, we have a method, and you can use that. We use console.writeLine to see the output, and we write the name of the array like cars dot length, and the length of array will be printed. You see, 3 is printed here because cars has 3 elements. When you have an array, many times we use for each loops instead of for loop, because when you use for each, it actually loops through each element in an array. You don't need to increase the actually value of this. For example, you don't need to increase the value of I here. You just need to write for each. Let me show you the syntax of for each. This is like this. We write the type of the elements. Here we write a name. You can actually name it whatever you want, but here you have to write the array name, the name of the array that you want to see its elements, and then this code will be executed, and this actually it loops through each element of that array one by one, and whatever you want related to those will be executed. For example, let me show you an example to be more clear. Here you see, let me delete it. Okay, we have cars here. We have string I in cars. This I each time shows an element of car. For example, for the first time it shows the first element and it loops through that, and the next time it shows the second element until the end of elements. If I execute the code, you see that the numbers of cars is written here. You can also sort array There are many array methods available. The first one that I want to tell you is sort, which sorts an array alphabetically or in an ascending order. Let's see how it works. We have array is a class, and array.sort is a method which is available in array class, and between these two parentheses as an input we actually write our specified array name, and we actually loop through these cars to see whether it is sorted or not. As you see, if we want to print I print the first element of an array, and then the second one and third one, and let's see if it is sorted or not. As you see, it is sorted alphabetically. We have written like this. Volvo was the first one, but when it is printed, BMW is the first one because B is prior. We can also sort integers. We declare another array which its name is mynum. Let's see how this can be sorted. Let me comment this part, and you see mynum. Here you have mynum here. Okay, let's execute the code, and as you see, it is sorted. And we have actually sorted it ourselves. Let's change it to see whether it works or not. This one can be 900, and you see it is sorted. There are also other useful methods that we can use. For example, if you want to find the maximum, the largest value or the smallest value, or for example sum of elements in array, you can use some functions. You don't need to write the code yourself. Right line, and let me copy this to show you some of them. For example, let's see mynum dot max, and you'll see the maximum of this the maximum value between the elements. My num dot min, you see the minimum of that, and here my num dot sum, and you can see the sum of elements. Let me execute the code, and here the largest one is written here, and then the smallest one, which is 30, and the sum of all elements is also written there. Okay, here is the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed it and you find useful information. If you have any questions, make comments and I'll answer you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to subscribe it, and see you in the next session. Bye for now.